Okay, great. Hey, y'all. My name is Timothy. I work for the Alumni Association as the Assistant Director of Constituency Engagement, which means I oversee all the affinity groups, and I am lucky. I have the pleasure and luckily have the luck of overseeing the Latinx Alumni Network, which you all are a fun group, and so it is so exciting to see you all here on today. So I am going to pass it over to Crystal. Before I do that, I want to let you all know that this is being recorded, so we can have this on file, and you can go back and view this at a later date. It'll be uploaded on our YouTube page. So yeah, without further ado, here is Crystal.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. I would say good morning, but it is the afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today. I'm really excited. Linde originally was going to be our presenter, but I will be taking over for her today. So, okay, to get us started, we're going to do, this is the agenda for today, introductions, go over the mission again, and I added a slight difference. So before going into LinkedIn profile, we'll kind of go what it means building a network and the importance of it, not just professionally, but socially, personally, and all that good stuff. So for introductions, name, class, college, I'm seeing some new faces that I've never met even while I was at NC State. So I'm really curious to know who's on here. So I'll start with Andrea, and then we'll go Andrew, Anthony, Salvador. If you guys don't mind, name, college, class, current role, and you can answer the questions as many as you like. We don't have to go over all of them, but I'll defer to you guys how much you want to share or not share.
Hi, everyone. I am Dr. Andrea Duhan. I graduated in 2005 in mathematics and math education. I am currently an assistant professor of mathematics at Marshall University and the financial controller for Enlighta Energy, a solar energy company. I don't have a favorite IG account, so I can't give you that, but I like a lot of the motivational stuff. And in general, I think I'm relatively active on LinkedIn, but I really want to sort of increase the activity level that I have on there and trying to learn about like what posts are appropriate for that versus other networks, right? Whether you're on Facebook or on Instagram, it seems like it's hard to know where that bridge is in terms of your professional career. So I was interested in learning about that. And that's me.
Cool, thank you. Andrew?
Sorry, I got roped into something. I'm at my desk at work. So I'm Andrew Pita. Nice to meet everybody. I think I know a few of you already. Class, so I graduated in 2008 with my bachelor's, and then 2010 with my master's, both in electrical engineering. My current role is, so I've actually been at ExxonMobil now for 10 and a half years. Started off doing like project management, onshore and offshore projects, upstream and downstream. And right now I'm actually a group lead for our cost engineering group for our global projects support function.
Very cool.
Favorite Instagram account? I've always been a Conan O'Brien fan. So I love like Team Coco. They always just post silly stuff and videos and things that he does. So I always love that. I'm active on LinkedIn. Yeah, so I've become a lot more active on LinkedIn, especially in this last year. I think obviously everything being remote is giving me more time to focus on networking. And even at my, in a lot of industries, I think there's been a lot of people who have been looking for opportunities, and also during that time, people have been reaching out and networking even more during this time in this last year. So I think that's been a good opportunity there. I'd like my LinkedIn engagement to be really focused on just like building a network outside of what my typical one is. I think a lot of people, right, most of the people you're going to get network with is people you work with or people you went to school with. I think it's always hard to try to engage and grow it out in maybe areas you want to learn more about or actually get into. So I think that's the challenge and what I would like to grow into. And the last one is I'll just say yes, just because there's a lot of things going on. But I'm just saying that very vaguely because I'm sitting in the office right now.
All good. Thank you for sharing. Anthony.
Hey everybody, Anthony Tuttle, graduated 2011 with a technology engineering design education degree. Picked up my master's at Wake the year after that before moving to Michigan. I've done product management and marketing and currently the program manager for the Cyber Hub at WMCAT. I believe I mentioned possibly before we started recording, really focusing on how to grow and diversify the IT talent pipeline here locally in West Michigan, but just broadly, not on Instagram. So I only see what my wife scrolls through, which is primarily Selena posts. Active on LinkedIn-ish. I definitely feel like I have a strong profile. I'm a manager on a couple of other LinkedIn pages or groups. Definitely feel like I want to be more active there. My personal profile engagement would probably be more of like thought leadership rather than like hawking what I'm trying to get people to attend. And then actively seeking a new gig. Yes, trying to stay in IT and cybersecurity, but trying to get back to the Carolinas, specifically, RDU or Raleigh or, Red Hat, IBM, security awareness, that sort of stuff. I picked up a Security Plus cert a couple months ago, just continuing to learn and wanting to stay connected to the community and everything. So, and also we have a new daughter, so I want to be closer to family. So
Congratulations. Thank you for sharing. Salvador?
Hi, good morning. It is morning for me because I'm in California. So let's see. I'm probably the old fart out of the group here because I graduated last millennium, 97, from CALS and engineering. So it was a joint degree, biological and agricultural at the time, engineering. I think it's called something else now. I worked for a technician while I was at State. So that's why I have a photography studio. My wife and I have owned the photography studio for over 20 years, and it's evolved. And the current evolution, or actually, prior to the pandemic, it was focused on conference and convention photography. So that's probably why my favorite IG account is Choose Chicago. I go to, we travel all over, we used to travel all over the country to cover conferences and conventions. And so I like what Choose Chicago posts because it's a lot of, obviously, eye candy of the city. I am somewhat active, but not very much. Prior to If This Then That disconnecting from LinkedIn, I would post a lot because I just would post to Instagram and then everything would get disseminated to different channels. But since they disconnected that, I hadn't taken the time to get back. But I'm not an active reader either, so that doesn't count. So I would like to, in the next checkbox here, I would like to get back on that. Get more active. Especially now that the political season is over, I think it's a little more palatable. Which leads me to the next one. As I mentioned before, our studio focused more on conferences and conventions, and since those are not happening, I need to figure out what the next evolution is. And I want to do so right after graduation, I did get an engineering job, but my engineering job was really acting as a liaison, a cultural and linguistic liaison. So if I could meld those two jobs, that would be ideal. So be a storyteller for a brand. I think it's what I would be looking for.
Awesome, thank you. Next up, we have Jess. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Of course. Hi, everyone. I'm Jess Gallow. I graduated from CHAS, College of Humanities and Social Sciences. In May 2018, I majored in Spanish literature and social work. And I currently am working as a post-release services case manager for Company Children. I am in the Raleigh, North Carolina area. So that's the state that we are focused on, and just in this am supporting the reunification process for these unaccompanied children with their family members here in the States. I don't have a favorite IG account that I can think of off the top of my head, but I think like someone said earlier, just kind of am all about, just like positive or like, quotes about how to do self-care and mental health awareness, since that is kind of my field. And so I always like to be reminded of that on my social media platforms. I am active on LinkedIn a little bit. I always do post when I have like new jobs, but I don't, I guess, make posts like in between like new jobs or anything. I just really post when I have a job update. So I guess because I'm just nervous, like, what do I post? I guess I could post about mental health, but I don't know. It's like, once you post something, it's there for everyone to see. So I do have anxiety around that, maybe so they could work on. And I actually just started this new role, so I'm not actively searching.
Okay, thank you. Joanna, can you go next, please?
Yeah, hi everyone. I see some familiar faces like Anthony and Jess and Andrew, who I haven't seen in like a decade, which is so nice. So I'm Joanna Banegas. I graduated in 2014 with a political science and international studies degree. I moved to Boston 6 years ago to do AmeriCorps, and then I got my master's and my MBA. And now I'm doing recruiting and talent acquisition for a consulting company in the Boston area, which is cool. I'm doing a lot of diversity and inclusion work. So as for my job, I actually have to be on LinkedIn like 8 hours a day. And so I'm kind of sick of it, to be honest, but it is a really powerful tool. So I guess I'm on here to like learn about people's experiences on LinkedIn, because I'm very curious. Also as like if you need, as a recruiter, like if if you're looking for a job, I can help you out with that process. Like what buzzwords you should be looking for, what recruiters look for in a candidate. Like, there's like open to work, like what do you do with that? Stuff like that, I can help you guys out with. My favorite IG account right now is Unnecessary Inventions. This guy's hilarious. He invents really weird stuff and like unnecessary things, but it's really funny. So you should check out his Instagram page. It's called Unnecessary Inventions. It's really quite funny. And then I'm not actively looking for a new job, but I'm always curious. So I'm always like looking to see what kind of jobs are out there in the salary ranges. I'm like, oh my God, let's see what's the salary range for this job. I'm actually really good at that too. If you're looking for a new job and if you're looking to see like, what is my salary range, I can help you out with that process. I've seen so many salary ranges for the jobs that I work with. So if you're looking for like a base, not a baseline, but like just a range, I can help you out with that process as well. But that's me. So
well, prime example why everyone should be networking. You just never know who can help you out in different aspects. Nicole, can you introduce yourself, please?
Hello, my name is Nicole Melendez. I'm currently calling from my car, as you guys can see. But I graduated in 2013 with the College of Education, Elementary Ed, Spanish minor, and was a teacher for a couple of years. And currently I'm coordinator for virtual programming in Ecuador. I'm in Otavalo, Ecuador.
That's awesome. I'm Ecuadorian.
Currently. Awesome. I love it. My husband is Ecuadorian. I came here a couple of years ago to teach English. I hate teaching English, so that's one thing, but I'm currently a program coordinator, and we're doing currently virtual programming with the pandemic. And my favorite Instagram account is actually Raleigh Cheesy or Reese's Book Club. Raleigh Cheesy is a charcuterie board in the Raleigh area. I haven't been in Raleigh for a while, but I love to follow her boards and dream that like that cheese is accessible here, which it is not. And hopefully I can get a board when I visit soon, but she's super fun. If you like The Bachelor, I do not. She's like super into it. And then she was also a teacher, so I have that with her. But anyways,
Raleigh Cheesy actually did open a storefront in Apex, so if you come back, yes, you can actually visit.
Yes, I hope to be back soon, actually, so I will hope to be there. Yes, I I follow her. I don't know her personally, but she's pretty fun. So in terms of LinkedIn, I kind of was active a little when I was changing jobs, but also when I graduated with my master's in August, and I had I guess it wasn't a thesis, it was like a capstone, looking at Latinx students studying abroad, which is something I'm super interested in. And I've gotten like a lot of interest about that topic, especially now. And I would love to be more engaged on LinkedIn because I would love to come back to Raleigh in the next year. Once the visa comes through for my husband, we would love to be in the US. And so I would love to figure out how I'm supposed to go about looking for a new job and using LinkedIn. I know that it's good for that. And then I'm not actively searching for a new gig until he has his visa, but I would love to change positions, which is kind of unfortunate, but yes. So I would love to. This is why I'm here today.
Awesome. Diego and Colin, you guys are the last two. So Diego, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. My name is Diego Cancel. Let me turn on the camera for a second. There we go. Hi. So if you guys don't know me, my name is Diego Cancel. I graduated in 2016 from NC State in environmental technologies. I am currently in Miami working on I work for a nonprofit that does environmental education, to put it simply. We do multiple things. Right now, we're working on a really cool thing, an app for recycling. So basically, it'll be a location-specific recycling app with education. What was the other thing? My favorite Instagram account for sure is my dog's account, which is mostly.shadow. If you guys want to go follow my dog, he's amazing. I am active on LinkedIn. I actually manage my own, my job's LinkedIn, and then a side job that I do. So I'm posting on there pretty frequently. On theirs, on mine, I don't post as much. For sure, yeah, LinkedIn, I would love to have more engagement in general, just, you know, to have more outreach and have people know my name a little bit more. And then I am actively looking for a job, but not because I don't like my job, but just because of COVID, and it's a nonprofit, so you never know if funding is going to stay or go away.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing. And Colin, last but not least.
Hey, everybody. I'm sorry, I've got roommates, so I'm trying to keep things off of video and you know, the noise in the background. But Salvador mentioned that he's the old guy in the group. I'm not old, but I also graduated in 1997 from the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences, now the class of Life Sciences. I have been a hospitality professional for many years, but recently had shoulder surgery, and therefore I have had to back out of that and am unemployed. I can no longer work what I was doing, and I'm using my opportunities and resources where I can. I was born in Mexico and lived in the Dominican, but my parents are from the United States, but I have a very strong affinity towards the Latin community and have been involved with it for a long, long time. So at this point, I'm trying to network for career opportunities, continued cultural and spiritual growth, possibly going back to school. I have not had to use a LinkedIn profile before, so my profile is weak at this point, and certainly looking for those that are willing to help to polish that up. And then as far as Instagram, I've got an account that I've used to help promote different charity fundraisers before, but do not necessarily have a favorite page other than NC State Athletics, Dallas Boys, and some other things that I happen to enjoy. So that's about me.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. So we will continue right on through. For the alumni goals, again, positive image of the university. We want to recruit and retain Latinx students. So we're really trying to build this network, one, to help professionals like yourselves, right, connect with the right people, make those career lateral, vertical moves, stay connected to the university, to all the different organizations that you guys were a part of. The Latinx Alumni Group as well evaluates university policies and programs. Again, we're really trying to not only just make an impact on campus, but make sure that our legacy continues years from now and we have support from the institution. So having your feedback, whether, you know, it was stuff that you guys had back in the day, or that you have seen in other different universities that are working for Latino organizations, please feel free to let us know. We're always looking to improve. And again, promote friendships and networking. And then one of our not newest goals, but one of the all-encompassing goals is raising funds for scholarships and projects. We have designated a few scholarship winners between MeFam and the Latino Alumni Group. So thank you to those that donate and that share, and that will be full circle towards the end. Okay, so I'm sure some of you have heard, right, your net worth is your net worth. And I have found that to be the case across the board, regardless of what industry you're in, regardless if you are an investor or not. And I'll come back to why I say that. But for people, especially those that are either on the job hunt or just trying to figure things out, especially during this very interesting time in our lives, you are your own HR, and that's how you should think about your LinkedIn profile and how you curate that. But you're also your best advocate, right? So at the end of the day, how is someone supposed to know that you've raised X amount of money for a fundraiser, or you started a coalition, or you do volunteer work, right? If it isn't somewhere, common interests and passions connect people. A lot of the times it doesn't necessarily always have to be about a job opportunity, but whether you're, you know, finding a mentor or expanding your personal side hustle, whatever the case may be, looking for the next step. Common interest is really one of those things that you can start following different types of groups, people, right? And then all that type of content will start populating in your LinkedIn. So one of the main things is, why is it important? Start building your network before you need it, right? At the end of the day, people will sense if you're either desperate looking for a job or if you're only out specifically because you want something from them. So it's better to start building that foundation before you actually need it. People are far more likely to help you out if you've connected with them on some sort of level versus just like, hey, I know that you work over here, you know, can you give me a job? And then relationship building is the new currency. And I've seen that across the board working for small businesses, startups, and even larger companies. And we'll get into that as well. So again, whether you're meeting other professionals in your field or you want to meet professionals in a new field that you may be interested in, actively cultivating your network, right, to span across your professional, social, and personal life is really important. And you can use LinkedIn for that. Okay. So a few different things. Internal referrals, I'm sure Joanna can tell us about this later, but something that I've noticed working with recruiters in the past, as well as some of my friends who are internal recruiters, a lot of the times, right, there are more and more employers are turning to their employees to source candidates. Why? Because it saves time and money. Plus, a lot of companies have incentives for their employees when they do find viable candidates. And I'm sure some of you who have worked in corporate America probably have run into that. Hey, you know, we'll give you a $500 bonus, right, if the person that you recommend for this job posting actually makes it through to the final round. So it's a win-win situation for everyone involved. Job security, right? If the pandemic has taught us anything, it's that there is less and less job security than there was before, and that a lot of jobs can be done remotely. So growing your network really helps to widen that net if you have to unexpectedly move or make a sudden career change. It gives you that buffer. Recruiter outreach. One of the things that Joanna mentioned, and that I will also mention as well, is making sure that if you are actively looking, right, you have that on button in your profile that recruiters can actively see your profile. That goes to say, you know, with keywords and all that good stuff that would be in that industry or the industry that you're trying to pursue. But also some connections may be happily, you know, working wherever they are. And it's happened to me where they're like, hey, I know you're in marketing. This person reached out to me, you know, here's a job position. Maybe you would like it. I'm okay where I'm at. So again, making sure that you're updating your job title, all that good stuff, that you're actually taking the time to curate that info blurb, not with just the things that you do, but with the things that you like as well. Technology keeps accelerating. So I read something as I was doing a little bit of research for this presentation, that before it was, right, we're all connected to the 7th degree. And because of technology and the way social media has really connected both the social and corporate aspect of life, we're now more connected to the 4th degree. So you might be closer to that connection that you want to make more than you think so. And then overall satisfaction, choosing your friends, relationships, contacts is key. One, in improving your productivity, happiness, and then, right, what quote unquote is our net worth. It's the people that we know in our network. And again, not just professionally, but translating that across the board, whether that be mentorship, friendships. So it's very important to continue to cultivate that over time. Kind of going, before we get into the LinkedIn profile, a few things that I just sort of gathered from what people are saying, right? What do I post? When should I post? How much should I post? The thing that LinkedIn is good for is creating a personal and professional persona. At the end of the day, right, this is another social outlet, although it may be more on the professional realm, but you're creating your personal brand. So what are things that you care about? What are causes that you care about? What are things that you're considered an expert in? What I've noticed from personal experience and also helping other companies curate their LinkedIn profiles is, if, let's say, for example, yes, you got a new job, right? So updating that on your profile, but are you excited about it? What are you excited about? Creating a post specifically about this position helps your engagement. If you are running a 5K or you know, helping some sort of charity, promoting organizations and causes and tagging those organizations or people that you're working with, again, doesn't have to be, you don't have to do it all the time, but as it occurs, making that one post. So just like you would post on Facebook, oh my God, this is so funny, or I think this is so cool, you know, turn that flip side on LinkedIn and add your thought. More of a thought leadership is what LinkedIn is starting to really curate its content. So you can become a thought leader in your group. For example, right, Anthony, you've been in the IT realm for however long, maybe there's a new software update, or maybe there's, you know, some sort of interesting new product or platform that's come about, sharing your thoughts as this person, right, who's been in this field. And then if there's, you know, for people who are looking into getting or melding industries, again, sourcing this type of content and just sometimes even commenting on the different things that you would care about. So I follow, for example, the Huffington Post and their CEO. So anytime she has something to say about maybe women in the glass ceiling or whatever the case may be, and just resharing that and making one comment on it allows people to, again, not even just filter through what my posts are, but see that I am active and that I'm posting, and these are causes that I may like whether it be diversity and inclusion. So that's also important. Specifically for your LinkedIn, getting into the more technical aspect, here are a few different things that you definitely should have updated and continue to curate as you move through different jobs or, you know, side hustles in your career. So headshot, please, no selfies. I don't know how many times I see people with selfies and it makes me cringe as a marketing person. You don't have to have, you know, a 4K camera to be able to get a really nice picture, whether it's well lit, just have someone else take a picture of you, again, looking professional. And that doesn't necessarily mean wearing suit and tie, right? If you're not in the suit and tie type of environment, you still want to be yourself. But at the end of the day, right, you want to sort of have your best face forward when it comes to that. Your cover image can be either, for example, mine right now is, I have the Latinx Alumni banner. It's just the most recent cause that I've been a part of. Before I had a quote. If you're into photography, having one of your photographs on there, again, curate that as you wish, but it does, again, say something about you as people are scrolling through their connections. Update your link name. And that's something that we'll go into the next slide. So in your URL, you can actually make it, you can curate it and customize it, which I would always recommend to customize it. You can have your name and something, you know, that you do, make it clever, or if you just want to keep your name. If you have a name that is fairly popular, probably making a more custom URL would help you stand out, especially towards recruiters. Employment history, just keeping up to date with, you know, jobs that you've had, what you've done in the past. Again, looking at job descriptions that you're aiming to apply for and including those types of keywords in those job descriptions. Add your skills. There is a specific place where you can add all your skills. And if you have certifications, keep up to date with any type of certifications, again, in your fields that would be beneficial for you. And even if you've done them in the past, just make sure that, again, you're having a more holistic approach to your skill set outside of just your job. So whether that's photography or public speaking, whatever the case may be, making sure that you're adding those as well. Request recommendations. Always a good thing to ask, whether it's a coworker, a previous manager, you know, before you leave a position, or when you've done a great job on a project, whatever the case may be, for a recommendation. I have noticed that some recruiters, you know, they do search that and they see, oh, this person is really good in X, Y, and Z. Why? Because it's been verified by 3 different types of, not just managers, but colleagues and maybe a mentor as well. Curate those different types of recommendations. And then link your work email. Okay, so we're using Linde's profile today. And then again, you can see she has a clear picture. There's nothing super crazy in the background. It's a good quality. And like I said, you can update your cover photo. For hers, she has different type of artwork. Again, it doesn't have to be business professional only, since this is how people are going to see. It says something about your personality. So what do you want it to say about yourself? Here is where I was talking about with your link. So Linda has a very unique name. Okay, so she's able to put her first and her last name as is. But if, for example, you're John, right, the Robert Smith is hard to find you on LinkedIn in that way, you can edit it here on the side. So again, what do you want to say about yourself, right, in your profile? And this is how it would show up if you have a nickname, having it in parentheses versus having your nickname plus your last name. You still want to keep your official name as it would be in legal documents, since that's how the majority of, especially for job opportunities, recruiters are going to be able to find you. Oh. And then I wanted to go to my LinkedIn, but I don't want to switch back and forth. One of the things I wanted to show is the power of just being able to write a specific post on LinkedIn. So let me look that up really quick for you guys. And while I do that, does anyone have any questions, comments?
Mine's pretty basic question. I probably can figure it out, but since you had mentioned it, you said like, you know, include your work email. Does that just go under that add profile section?
So that would go under when you do contact info. Let me share. I'm going to do a new screen share for you guys. So you can see. Okay. Can you see my LinkedIn profile right now? Okay, yes. Cool. Yeah, so under contact info, it would be here.
Okay, perfect.
Yep. So one of the things I wanted to show, for example, when I worked for an accelerator, and even though I was the marketing person on the team and I was promoting events specifically for people to come out to demo day, right, this is my post and I wanted to show a few different things. So one, I tagged the company that I was working for. It's very important to tag people. This was the specific program. And again, it's just your thoughts. At the end of the day, you are your thought leader, right? For your own profile. What do you care about? What do you want to say? A lot of the times LinkedIn, the best thing is just giving different perspectives on something. Thank yous go a long way. So if you worked on a project with someone or you onboarded a new client, you know, to your company, whatever the case may be, thank yous. Tagging the people who were a part of whatever it was that you were doing. Again, it just allows for more eyes to get on your post. Now, it doesn't have to be specifically for job searching, but you just never know. You're cultivating, right, your passion projects, interest, all that good stuff, mutual things that you share with other people. This is how they'll be able to find you. And then here, I just tagged the different startups that I was a part of at the end of the day. The best thing I can say translates across all social profiles, but if there's a picture, so if it's you doing, I'm just going to use real estate as an example, right? If you're doing a groundbreaking for real estate, having the hard hats on, right, on the site location, picture with the group, again, it goes a long way showing that not only, you know, you have a fun time, you're tagging all these other people, but you learned something, right? You're grateful for something. And again, you can see all the different type of engagement that was received here. Now, the one thing I wanted to show you is look how many views this post had. Almost 3,000 views. And again, you're building this online presence for yourself through your LinkedIn. And this is more of on the marketing side because you are marketing yourself on LinkedIn. And then vice versa. If somebody else, right, one of your friends gets a new job, congratulating them, engaging with other people's posts. You never know. I've had people, recruiters, reach out to me because I made a comment on somebody else like, oh, so happy that you got this job, right? People are just, oh, who is this person? Curious, and they end up finding you that way. So it really is about the paperclip effect. I don't know if you guys have ever seen just a bunch of rubber bands on a table, you throw paper clips on it, and all of a sudden you actually come out with like a spider web of everything is intertangled. And that's kind of how LinkedIn works as well, but you have to curate your profile. The other thing I wanted to show you guys. So for example, like this post, I really liked, I went to Christina's talk. She is one of the NC State alumni who did a spacewalk, one of the women astronauts that went on that team, and just thought it was amazing, you know, that we have another woman, an NC State alum doing something awesome, and just made a little comment about it. So it doesn't always have to be, you know, you don't have to do it once a week, but just like you would be scrolling on Facebook for hours on end, maybe, you know, take the time to do that for your LinkedIn, and you'll see more and more connections, more people reach out to you, sometimes with questions. And a lot of the times, personally, being able to see where somebody works and just asking them like, hey, I noticed that you are a part of this project. What did you think about X, Y, and Z the third? And just starting to have those conversations with people that you would be interested in learning about learning about their industry, or you're trying to get into that industry without asking for the job first, but warming up those connections as well. Comments, questions, concerns? I'm going to switch my screen again.
You mentioned you were in marketing. Did you also run the LinkedIn page for the company or companies that you have worked for in the past? And is there a difference between how you would manage those two, your personal one versus the companies?
Yes. So for, I can give you guys tips. For marketing purposes, the best time to post on LinkedIn is Tuesday to Thursday from 10 to 11 a.m. Those are when posts get the most engagements. So for companies, we do everything on a time schedule and we schedule everything out. To grow more followers and just get more engagement in general, you would want to post at least 3 times a week. And usually you want something that would revolve around video. Either you're creating your own content, again, you're promoting your own events. So whether it's a webinar, a workshop, if you attended, let's say you attended a conference, right? Oh, it was amazing getting to work and meet, blah, 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 blah. So letting people know what you're doing in the professional sense. If you complete a certification, so happy to announce, after 6 weeks, that I completed X, Y, and Z in the third, happy to see, where this takes me, blah, 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 blah. That would be similar to what we would do with companies. With companies, it's a little bit more time sensitive because you're always trying to build that ROI and get more return or have more people come on for your webinar, your workshop, or whatever it is that you're currently promoting. But usually the sweet spot is posting 3 times a week between these days, between these times, versus in your own personal profile. It's more about commenting, engaging with other people's posts, and then becoming a thought leader with having interesting or just new perspectives on, whatever is the latest topic in your industry or something, a cause, whatever the case may be, the news that you care about. Does that make sense? Cool. Let me try and share my screen again just to go over one last thing.
I have a quick question
yes.
in between. How do you deal with, well, it's kind of like a 2-part question. How do you deal with multiple sort of roles or careers? Like in my case, I'm a professor, and that's sort of like my kind of known main thing. And then I'm also a financial controller, and they're very literally here. They're very different. So how do you manage posts or not overshadowing one versus the other when you're trying to have engagement in LinkedIn?
That's a good question. I would say 2 things. One, it depends what you're doing with your current job. So for example, if there is, let's say you start following, I would say the beginning is start following people that motivate you, inspire you, head people in that industry, whether that be companies, again, individuals. LinkedIn is very big for curating organic reach through individual profiles. And then 2, going through and seeing, okay, are there any events? The good thing about LinkedIn is there are a lot of free events that people will post. And whether that be, in one sector or another sector, you can mesh the 2 with let me go back to sharing my, my profile so I can show you guys specifically where you can do this.
Just a quick question while you're pulling that up, Crystal. So you said 10 to 11, is that generally accepted Eastern time, or 10 to 11 on whatever time zone you're based in?
10 to 11, usually Eastern time, but it's that morning period for whomever you're trying to reach. That's when the most eyes are on LinkedIn. It's those morning hours. Let me show you since I'm in here.
And then a follow-up to that is, I haven't done it because I've, again, not been as engaged as I'd like to be on the industry pages that I manage, but I've heard that you can schedule posts, right?
Yes.
And so how do you do that as an individual, with a personal profile? That way, spend an afternoon, schedule stuff to send out the next month, and then sort of like set it and forget it. Like,
absolutely. So you can't do it directly on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is LinkedIn's API was made so it's a little bit harder. The tool that I use as a marketing person is Hootsuite. So you can connect that to your LinkedIn and be able to schedule out on the free account, I believe like 30 posts in a quarter or whatever. So for the average person, that's a lot of posts. For a company, right, you can go through that in like a month or so, not even. But yeah, I would recommend if you wanted to do that and schedule out your own things for, you know, future stuff or stuff that you've already done in the past, and you kind of want to update your profile in that way, Hootsuite is a really good way to connect your account. And you'd be able to do that. And I can show you guys that, I guess, in a different marketing thing. But as far as interests, adding your interests here. So like, for example, this is my business fraternity. Here's the Latino Alumni Network. Bill Gates, I always follow. So anything that these larger quote unquote influencers, and you can tell that they're influencers because they have the verified like LinkedIn blue button right here. So Cyan, I actually met her through Techstars when I was working for the accelerator, and she's a motivational speaker, and she's spoken with like all different types of people. And I was actually able to meet her in person, but following her, I get on my feed posts that, you know, either she would like or she would share, whatever the case may be. So it just kind of keeps me sort of up to date with, oh, what is motivational speakers doing, right? And again, following these verified LinkedIn personas, you can reshare their things, comment, like, again, at the end of the day, you're doing the same thing that you would on a different platform here. It's just making sure that if you want to personally say something about a project or whatever the case may be, right, you curate that a little bit differently, but that you're following the people that you care about and the stuff that you care about, the industries. So if you're, like Andrea said, financial controller and a university professor, then here, right, under interests, under groups, start looking for groups that professionally you would enjoy, right? What does that mean in your specific industry? I have no idea. Well, financial controllers do, but you know, within like the academic industry, academia and all that good stuff. The other thing too, under, let's see if it's, so skills and endorsements, right? You can always add a new skill right here. Public speaking. This was back in the day. I built this like when LinkedIn first came on, and everyone was, you know, skills. But ask your friends. The best thing that you can do is people who already know you to endorse you for your skills. That's okay. At the end of the day, even though it's your friends doing it, right, they're still professionals on this platform. And that's how people will see them versus, oh, they're my friend. Again, use your network. And then recommendations. So I've asked a lot of my different managers, coworkers, whatever the case may be, mentors, for recommendations. That always helps. And don't be afraid to brag about yourself. So we've all done amazing things, whether that was in college, outside of college, currently. So any courses that you've done, any certifications, you can add them here specifically. Recruiters will definitely be looking for very specific certifications, whether that be marketing, IT, whatever the case may be, based on their job description. Here for organizations, again, things in the past, stuff that you care about now, right? Whether it's that American Heart Association, add that on there. Any recognitions that you've received, languages that you speak. So this is very similar to your resume as you curate it. The difference is more people can see if they have things in common with you as you learn to curate your dashboard. And also the fun feature here is that you can add like certain posts that you want to keep up here. So, and then all you have to do is add them to your feature. So if there's something, for example, that either you got a lot of engagement and you want to keep up here, or something that's near and dear to your heart, passion project that you did and you made a post about it, and you want to let, you know, that's the first thing people will see when they get to your account, you can add it to your featured section as well. And then your about, right? Your about can say a lot of different things about yourself, however you want to make it, paragraphs, however it is. Again, you're telling your own story, you're your own advocate. So however you want people to relate to you, that's what I would do this about section. Mine's fairly cut and dry just because I've always kept it that way. Any other questions as I'm switching screens again?
I actually had a couple of questions. So first, I have been getting a couple of like recruiters emailing or in my inbox, or I don't know even what they call it, in mail. And I haven't been looking, and I don't necessarily know who they are or like what they're looking for. I just feel like a little weird about giving someone I don't know for I don't know reason like any information about myself. I don't know how like that works. And then like my second part of the question is that when I do click the on button, like I am looking, and that then recruiters do start getting in my email, like how do I don't really know what I'm supposed to be doing with that, or how to know, or like any tips.
A few different things. And Joanna, you can chime in since you do this. For recruiters, if you have the on button on, then that's pretty much the green light that you're like, hey, I'm open to be talked to, number one. Number two, LinkedIn does a really good job of having like prompts, if you will, at the bottom. So it's like, hey, I'm interested. No, I'm not. Again, you can curate that however, which way, you want. And it's okay also to reject recruiters. If you're like, no, I'm not interested in this position. Thank you so much for reaching out to me. If you have any other positions in X field, or give them the job titles that you're looking for. I've had recruiters come back to me 3 months, 6 months later, like, hey, I remember, our conversation, you were specifically looking for this. Are you still looking? At the end of the day, I know it may be a little bit weird when you get someone that you don't know, but it's probably because they found you through someone that you do know, and they popped up as either a common person that you would be connected to, or someone who had enough keywords for whatever they were looking for in a person, and your profile popped up. And when I say keywords, I mean the stuff that you write in your job descriptions underneath when you're putting your employment. That's how they're able to find you. Joanna, do you want to jump in, say anything about that?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I think in terms of just like recruiters reaching out, like if it is kind of weird, but like all the recruiters are doing this all the time. Like I live on LinkedIn and I reach out to people all the time. And I can actually show you what my, if Crystal wants to share real quick, my recruiting page, so you can see like what I look at, which is going to be interesting. So let me just, it says host disabled participants screen sharing. I guess I can't do that, but.
No, you can do it now. I just switched it.
Okay, cool. Let me go, okay, here. So let me show you guys this. So you guys can see my screen, right? So for example, like I'm looking for intellectual property consultants. So I go to Austin, I'm looking for people in Austin, Texas. I'm looking for people who have financial modeling. So this is skill sets. And I'm looking for people who are in consulting, and I'm looking for valuations, because these people tend to like know how to do intellectual property work or economic damages. And so this is the kind of keywords I look at. And so if you have open to work and you have keywords, I don't know what you do, but if it's like consulting or like whatever, then they're like finding you through their searches, right? And then I can go to Spotlight, I can do open to work, but, or most likely to respond, I could do, okay, let's do open to work. And then I see that there are, 193 people who are looking to transition to Austin who are open to work, but not all these people will fit my profile. Very little, actually. It's a very niche skill set. But as you can see, I can reach out to people open to work. This guy's looking for manager, director, position. And I've had recruiters reach out to me, say, hey, like your product looks great, and I'm not interested. So I say, no, thank you. There's a button you can just press and says, no, thank you, I'm not interested in speaking with you. You could do that. And I do that all the time. Or I've had candidates be like, I'm not looking right now, but, but I might be looking in the future. So they add me on LinkedIn. In terms of like legitimacy, like if it's, you can go to the recruiter's LinkedIn profile and be like, okay, this person's legit or this person's not legit. Like, you know, because I had people do that to me too. Like, it's really like, I had like business developer people come reach out to me all the time, and I'm not interested in speaking with them or adding them on LinkedIn. So I declined their, you know, it's up to you really, but you just have to do your due diligence of like figuring out who these people are. I don't know if this is helpful, guys, but the keywords is really helpful, right? And like adding your skill sets, because this is how recruiters will find you.
Yeah. So that's that section that I was talking about. And, you know, when you go on your actual profile and you're editing it and you say, yes, open to job opportunities, there'll be all these little drop downs that you can say, what are you looking for? What location? So making sure that you fill that out, I would say as broad of a spectrum for what it is that you're looking. So if you're like, maybe I want to go to Texas, maybe I want to go to Florida, right? Making sure that you have both locations. If you're looking to transition into a new position, right, or new vertical, making sure that you're updating that as well to reflect. So recruiters can see you when they're doing these searches and say, I noticed that, you know, you had this, but, and then you can start that conversation. And at the end of the day, you can also look at the company that the recruiter is with, because they'll tell you like, hey, I'm with Modus, look up Modus. Oh, Modus does recruiting for IT and financial people. Is that where I want to go? Yes, maybe. I'm a marketing person, maybe not. So again, you can measure if your recruiter's legit or not based on one, their profile, and then two, looking up the company that they're recruiting for and seeing what industry they're in.
I've got a fussy baby, so I want to ask this quick.
Yeah, no problem.
For keywords, does it just, you know, as a recruiter, you set what keywords you're looking for and it scrubs your whole profile? Or is there like a specific section where keywords come from? Just like I've found that with like job applications too, right? Like all of the AI that scrubs resumes look for specific things, and you can get blacklisted if you just like put the keywords in white text. So it's not like visible on your resume, but the AI will catch it. And then they're like, oh, you're trying to game the system. So just like, obviously the keywords are different from, you know, every employer and industry, but like where do you set, or where's like the best place to load your profile with those keywords?
I would say under skills. So for example, I'm sharing mine right now, public speaking, leadership, Spanish, but under here, they'll have it. LinkedIn has changed their API actually for the last few years, and they constantly do this, but this is one of the nicer things that I like. Under industry knowledge, right? What is your industry knowledge? You can put it under here. Tools and technologies, again, more technical skills that you would have. Interpersonal skills. So interpersonal skills have become, again, a larger type of currency, especially if you're bridging the gap between tech and people centric type of roles. So is it teamwork? Is it fundraising? Is it time management? Like what is it? And again, you can do this for any job. You can do it. Doesn't have to even be for a job. If you're like passion project, photography, put your skills on there, right? Design work, volunteering, or whatever the case may be. And then the other thing too is under your actual experiences. If it says, for example, digital strategies, right? Whatever the case may be, it looks very similar to your resume. But between both of those is how recruiters will be able to see. But specifically, just like Joanna showed us, it would be under skills, would be your quote unquote keywords.
Super helpful, thank you.
Of course, skills and profile. Like sometimes when I put the keywords in, like if I'm looking for accounting, like if that's on your profile, you know, like your profile section and skills. But I have to go. It was nice seeing everyone. Thank you so much, Crystal. It was so helpful. Thank you. Good job. It was awesome. Thank you. And add me on LinkedIn, guys. Bye.
And then last but not least, and we'll go through this fast because we went through everything else. I'm just going to share the upcoming events that we have, just so you guys are aware. Day of Giving is on Wednesday, March 24th. So if you guys work in a large company and they have a diversity and inclusion office/fund, let us know. We're definitely looking for corporate sponsors. Please support by donating. Again, we're not asking for thousands of dollars. $25, $100, whatever you can would be great. But spreading the word, again, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram, whatever the case may be, using your social media platforms to be able to help us really build this scholarship fund would be amazing. We're trying to reach 50K. Our next event is on March 25th, which is the day after to celebrate. We have drinks and tapas. We have the event on Facebook. So if you guys aren't on there, please connect with us on Facebook and invite your friends. This is a plug as the marketing chair for the board. Please, please, please add people on LinkedIn. We're really trying to grow our group. Right now, I think we have maybe 100 people on LinkedIn and we have closer to 500 on Facebook. So I'm trying to transition everyone that we have on there, but I'm not connected with everybody. So please invite them and save the date. We are starting to plan for the Latinx Alumni Weekend for 2021. Right now it's looking either March or April. We'll give you guys updates once we've decided on a date that hopefully will work for everybody, but we're really excited that we finally will have an official Latino Alumni Weekend. That's been so many years in the making. So we hope you guys will be able to join us. And let's see if the thing would like to work for me today. Sweet. So visit our official LAN website. That's where we'll have all the scholarship stuff. Join our Facebook group. Let your friends know, especially for my older alum. Thank you so much for being here. I wish I would have met you at school, but I don't. So please connect with the rest of your NC State people. Again, Facebook, LinkedIn, if you'd like for us to share this presentation, we definitely can. We're on Instagram. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, you can email us at our Gmail. But yeah, thank you so much for coming to this presentation. I hope you guys learned something new. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to any of us or just post your questions, comments, all that good stuff in any of our groups, and someone will definitely help you out. So thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have a great week, guys. Go Pack. Gracias.
Appreciate you.
Thanks for school.
Bye.